What's up, everybody? This is the Fan Dude 21 back once again. What you see here today is a 52-inch Homestead Whisperfan IV. This ceiling fan here dates to sometime around 1983 or 1984. It's definitely one of the older Homestead variations, and also one of the cooler Homestead variations, in my opinion. This is a 6-blade fan, variable speed, electrically reversible. Like I said, Homestead started up sometime around 1980, 1979, and they were a direct competition with Casablanca. And the very first models they introduced was the Whisperfan line, which pretty interesting. On a specific series of ceiling fan, that the series line denotes the same design fan, although in different forms. Well, Homestead, they used the same name, but on completely different looking fans. Now, the Homestead Whisperfan 1 was an ornate 4-blade fan, and it probably was a answer to the Casablanca Victorian. The Whisperfan 2 was a more plain 4-wing fan. The vents on them were pretty weird. They had like an S curved vent shape to them, which I do have a Whisperfan 2, but I do not have a video of it yet on the channel. So I expect to have that sometime down the road. And they also made a Whisperfan 3, which was looked just like this model here, although in just a 38-inch size. And those were the only sizes available: 52-inch for the Whisperfan 1 and the 2, and 38-inch for the Whisperfan 3. Whisperfan 3, like I said, was 6 blades, looked just like this, although in a 36-inch size, and with the smaller motor housing to compensate for that proportion as well. So the Whisperfan 4 came out sometime around 1982, if I were to guess, because in the 1980 catalog that I've seen, the Whisperfan 4 was not present. So these were introduced later. Now, as you can see right off the bat here, that the finish on this fan is pretty interesting. This finish is called antique copper, which these fans here are hard enough to find as it is, but finding a fan in the antique copper finish is even a bigger treat. So like I said, these are not easily found at all, especially in this finish. I mean, this older Homesteads in general are way less common than the 90s models like the Universal series and everything like that. So yeah, like I said, variable speed, electrically reversible. The fan uses an Emerson K55 motor, which Homestead had quite a few different motors that they used. They used General Electric, Emerson, and also Astrosin. A lot of higher end manufacturers swapped motor designs in the 80s. Even Casablanca did. I mean, even Casablanca used Samsung and Astrosin motors, instead of the K55s like they normally use. But anyway, like I said, variable speed, electrically reversible. The mounting system on the fan is also pretty interesting as well. It is a ball and socket system. The down rod is 1/2 inch, but it has a 3/4 inch decorative swirl design down rod, which Homestead and Casablanca like to use on their fans. And that's basically just a decorative sleeve. It isn't the down rod itself. Like I said, it's a ball socket, and the mounting bracket and the canopy. The canopy is pretty cool. Is that they're usually on those canopies you have to have 2 screws to hold it up. This one here was actually designed way ahead of its time, and actually it's a turn locking design. It's got 2 tabs in the canopy that point inward, and there's 2 slots in the freaking mounting bracket. All you gotta do is just stick them up in those 2 slots, turn it a little bit, and it locks itself up into place. I mean, a lot of manufacturers these days make that, but fans in the 80s just didn't have that for whatever reason. I don't know why, because it is a lot simpler. The down rod on the fan is 2 foot, about 20 inches, 24 inches long, I would say. So the fan hangs pretty low in the ceiling here, so you'll see me pretty much trying to reach in. We're not trying to get hit by the blades to operate the fan. So we'll go ahead and give this thing a demonstration. Now the pull chain on the fan has the option of controlling the light and the fan sequentially, just like Casablanca did, and it also has a separate hot wire going down from the down rod to operate the light off the wall switch, independently off the fan switch. Like I said, Casablanca did the same exact thing. The fan uses a cardboard box rheostat style variable speed control, and the trim pot's set to, pretty sure it's factory settings here. I did not adjust this one bit. So this is the factory low speed off the fan, because usually people don't even bother with them. Blades are a bit droopy on this fan too, unfortunately. Thankfully the flywheel is all cast metal, so that's not going to break anytime soon, which is a good thing. These older Homesteads had those metal flywheels. So like I said, with that flywheel, it's probably around 1983. So, which makes it also a very early ball and socket hanging system, which might have been a slope kit of its time as well, because usually Homestead around this era used a slide up bell canopy system, just like the early Casablancas 1981 on down did. So it's kind of hard to hear. I got the whole house fan running upstairs, but the fan is a very quiet running fan. It does make a little bit of a motor hum with that variable speed control. The bearings on the fan are smooth, but they are showing signs of wear. They do hiss a little bit from dryness. I didn't bother to open the fan up all the way and put some oil on the bearings, which would have remedied that issue, but whatever. This that there's around the fan's medium speed. Like I said, it wobbles a little bit with the warp blades. Fan's also got a bit of a buzzing sound too. I'm not really sure what that is. Probably something in the motor, if I were to guess. But it goes away. Blade pitch, I would say, is 13 degrees on this fan as well. And this is full speed here. Which at full speed we're doing probably around, I would say around 190 RPMs. With a 13 degree blade pitch and being a 6-blade fan, this thing moves a very good amount of air. It's probably on par, if not just a little bit more powerful than an original. It is these fans are pretty good performers. And so we're going to show updraft real quick. Hell, the video's already 10 minutes long, my God. I'll have to make this quick. Probably one of my longest fan videos on the channel so far. Updraft modes are pretty much about the same speed. Well, let's spool up to low speed here real quick, then we'll take it just straight to medium, then up to high. I pretty much did 1/6 of turns when I was doing downdraft position. That's back around to medium speed there. And back to high. And we'll go and let it coast. Yeah, the Whisperfan series probably lasted till around, I want to say around 1984 or 1985. What they were actually replaced with, I really can't tell you. Sometime around 1986 or 1987 is when they started outsourcing their fans to Contrast and Firebird for their models that went well into the 90s before the company went kaput. But Homestead really made a lot of very unique looking fans back in the 80s and 90s too. They were definitely a one-off company. Now, Homestead was the first to offer a 6-blade fan in the 80s, but they weren't the pioneer of the 6-blade fan. That crown is held by General Electric. They made the first 6-blade fan around the 1920s, which was a top mount design. Very cool looking fan. But Homestead introduced their Whisperfan IV around 1980. The second manufacturer to offer a 6-blade fan was Fasco with the World's Fair series, and I didn't think they came out until around 1984. So a little bit more tidbit of information for you there. And as we're coming to a stop here, we'll finally end this video off here. So I thank you for watching, and I do hope you enjoyed the video on this 52-inch Homestead Whisperfan IV ceiling fan in the rather elusive antique copper finish. Thanks for watching, and I do hope you enjoyed this video. And like always, we'll see you on the next one.